And we're back now at 8:37 with one of the most influential people in business you've probably never heard of. Willie Geist recently met a young professor at the University of Pennsylvania who's helping to shape tomorrow's CEOs. And Willie's here with that story. Good morning.
Matt, good morning. Good to see you. Students on the Ivy League campus flocked to his classroom to hear a simple philosophy that is now shaking up the business world. Nice guys, it turns out, often finish first.
The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
In an era of big bank failures and global recession, Gordon Gekko's alpha dog style of business is under siege, and from an unlikely source.
It's called pronoia.
At 31, Adam Grant is the youngest tenured professor at the University of Pennsylvania.
It is the irrepressible fear that other people are plotting your well-being.
Named one of Business Week's favorite professors and one of the world's top 40 business professors under 40.
I signed up to take your class next semester. I don't know if I'll get
Awesome.
it, but
I would love to have you in class.
His classes are some of the most popular at the famed Wharton School of Business.
introduce myself.
Adam, nice to meet you.
So you're known as something of a, I'm going to make you uncomfortable, a celebrity professor on this campus?
I hope not.
Grant's big idea is essentially this: the cultural wisdom that says only the strong and self-interested survive in the dog-eat-dog world of business is demonstrably wrong.
I think it's really neat that there's this group of people who succeed in ways that lift other people up, as opposed to cutting them down.
These future CEOs and business leaders agree.
I think these teachings sort of fit right into where the world of business is going.
Grant's new book, Give and Take, fleshes out the argument. He explains that people fall into one of three categories: takers, givers, and matchers.
If you were a taker, you would only help other people when the benefits to you would basically outweigh the costs. Whereas a giver is somebody who's more likely to help when the benefits to the other person outweigh the personal costs.
The rest of us fall somewhere in between: matchers. It's true that you'll find takers at the top of many organizations, but Professor Grant's research shows givers are the ones who stay on top.
So take me through the career of a giver and why he or she would be successful.
If you work in a team and you're the one who's willing to put the team's interests ahead of your own, the team will often reward you for that with greater status, with more promotions, etc.
One of history's greatest givers? Abraham Lincoln.
Lincoln was actually able to look at what's going to be in the best interest of the country and then bring the most capable people along, even if they weren't his best friends.
Grant says spotting a taker in business can be easy.
They talk about their successes with I and me instead of us and we.
Exhibit A, Grant says, this full-page photo of disgraced Enron CEO Ken Lay from the company's annual report.
CEOs who are takers actually have larger photos of themselves in their annual reports, which just sort of signals it's all about me. Decisions and predictions about the stock market.
Professor Grant has been called in to evaluate the culture at organizations like Google, Goldman Sachs, even the NFL. Make-A-Wish, a foundation built on giving, turns to him as well.
It's very evident right away that he knows his material. There's an instant acceptance of what he's doing.
A long way from the self-described introvert who once turned to magic to come out of his shell.
Was that your card?
But today, there is no trick to his message.
If there are ways I can be helpful to any of you, I hope you'll reach out.
Just science that may change the way the world does business.
A lot of us underestimate both the success and the meaning and happiness that comes from making a difference in the lives of others.
Now, Professor Grant concedes there are limits to what a giver can do before he or she becomes a doormat or a pushover. He tries to weed out the takers from his own life with a simple test. If someone asks you for something, ask them to pay it forward with some small task of their own. If they're unwilling to do that, don't waste your time with them.
How many CEOs watching right now do you think are calling their PR people saying, shrink the size of my picture on the yearly statement?
And you know what? Professor Grant says that applies not just to CEOs, but if you look at your friends on Facebook, he says that's a great indicator, and there are studies that show the people who have only pictures of themselves, watch out.
Somebody told me that has to do with your signature, too.
Yes,
big signature,
exactly.
big ego.
Yeah.
Anyway, Willie, thank you very much.